Would you love to learn how to turn $5,000 into $1 million by the end of this bull run? So literally the space of a few months. If so, you are going to love this potentially life-changing video. My name is Suppoman, the superhero of cryptocurrency. I find you the 100x gems, and I'm the only YouTuber that provides you with a printable slide breaking down a 100x opportunity so you know exactly what's investable about it. If you want more content like this, make sure you smash a like on this video, you subscribe to the Suppoman. A lot of you are not subscribed, so if you subscribe, make sure that you say to me, I am new and I've subscribed, and I will respond to you. And it's only me if it's got a grey border around it. The rest are scammers. Do not fall for it. And hit the bell notification because timing is literally everything. The sentiment of the market has completely changed, going last week from extreme fear now to a sentiment of neutrality. And this is because of the turnaround in the Bitcoin price. The US dollar has continued to fall day on day. It could reverse at any point, but Bitcoin is looking very, very strong, hitting this resistance at 48,000. What could push it through that resistance? This news here is extremely bullish and at the same time a potential signal to the forthcoming and end to the bull run. So, a futures-based Bitcoin ETF has a 75% chance of approval in October, says analyst. So a 1/4% chance of this actually being approved. Now, should this be approved, in October, it would almost replicate what happened in 2017. This is what happened in 2017. On October the 31st, this was announced. Bitcoin surges to record above $6,400 after CME announces launch of futures for digital currency. This was the beginning of the last 20% of the bull market 2017, culminating in the actual launch of the Bitcoin futures on CME, which happened on December the 17th. So that last 20%, where 80% of the price action happened for Bitcoin, happened between the end of October and mid-December, and that is where the price went from $6,000 to $20,000. Now, once that happened, the money then flowed out of Bitcoin. This was the end of the Bitcoin bull run. The money then flowed into altcoins, and for a period of 2 weeks, altcoins absolutely flourished. So what caused euphoria last time was the CME Bitcoin futures. What could cause euphoria this time is a Bitcoin ETF, which is what we have been waiting for since 2018, could be coming to fruition in 2021, culminating in the potential growth and subsequent decline in the Bitcoin price. Now, I am personally predicting that this market cap is going to go to between $10 to $13 trillion over the next few months. That basically means that the whole entire market is going to 6x. Now, if that happens, large caps are going to grow substantially if the ETF grows the market. But what do you think is going to happen to those micro caps? So these micro caps is where the opportunities are, and literally getting into the hottest potential large cap micro caps now could yield the best results. So I'm now going to bring you 5 cryptocurrencies that have the potential to change your life completely, and I'm going to break them all down so you've got a printable slide for each. So a disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor and all cryptocurrency investments are risky. Do not buy without doing your own research. Use me as a basis for your research, but do not buy just because I buy, and all views and predictions expressed here are for personal opinion and educational purposes. So I'm going to go now into descending order based on when these cryptocurrencies are coming out. So in at number 5 place is AstroSwap. Now this is going to be coming out literally in the next few days. Now, why AstroSwap? Well, AstroSwap is a Cardano-based decentralized exchange that is putting emphasis on very high speed, low fees, and instant settlement. So if you are making a Cardano-based trade, then AstroSwap is going to allow you to do so very, very quickly at a very low fee. Now, there is no Cardano DEX at the moment that is currently monopolizing this landscape. Nothing at the moment that is grabbing that market share. AstroSwap is the one that is taking the bull by the horns quite literally and trying to grab market share and monopolize the market before other players come in. What is its USP? It's a low competition and high demand market. Cardano-based projects are hot right now, and they are likely to get hotter, and as there's a scarcity of projects, it means more money is likely to pump into the low amount of projects that there are now. And AstroSwap has one of the most bullish narratives, which is a DEX. It will also have high APYs for staking and yield farming. It's going to be built on Alonso, so it's going to be almost native to Cardano straight away rather than being native on Ethereum, and it's going to have an auto liquidity lock to avoid scams. So it's got a scam prevention function that will enable for users to make the best yield. Now, what is going to lead to the 100x? Firstly, it's a first mover. It is in the Cardano, DeFi and DEX narrative, so it is exploiting three narratives and end of the bull run timing. So in between now and the end of the bull run is where you're going to have potentially the best profit-making opportunities. And so this opens up the potential for AstroSwap to do over 100x, if not maybe 500 to 1000x. So the market cap's going to be $120,000. This is based on a 1/10 of a cent token price and 120 million supply. To match Occam's current price, which is low in my opinion, would make it a 570x. So should you invest in something like Occam or invest in something like AstroSwap, which has got way more multiplier potential? Personally, it would be AstroSwap to me. So how do you buy AstroSwap? Well, you stake AdaPad on one of the lottery or guaranteed tiers. This is an AdaPad exclusive. You cannot get into it via other launchpads except for BSC Pad Blue Diamond, which is the highest tier of BSC Pad, and that will allow you to get a private allocation in combination with the AdaPad allocation if you should be going for both. But this is AdaPad exclusive, you can only get it on AdaPad. In at number 4, we have got StarLaunch. This is going to be coming out latter part of October. So, why StarLaunch? So StarLaunch is the first insured Solana launchpad. So this is to provide access to retail investors to hot, multi-narrative Solana-based cryptocurrencies. So Solana has emerged this bull run as one of the most powerful ecosystems. Why? Simply because of scalability, speed, and cost. It is the Ethereum killer right now. And it's not even really grown its Solana ecosystem. It's still a very young and infantile ecosystem, and so StarLaunch gives the opportunity to get involved in Solana-based early-stage projects, but you are insured. So if something goes wrong with the token sale, you will be refunded. So it is designed to protect you as a retail investor. So, what is actually really incredible about StarLaunch is how they have built in natural token demand. Stars is going to be the native token for StarLaunch, but you need stars in order to generate hydrazine. So hydrazine is a token they have created specifically for the IDOs. So you have to stake stars to create hydrazine, and hydrazine is what you need for the IDOs, just like you need ETHPad and KCC Pad and BSC Pad for each individual IDO. You will need hydrazine for these IDOs, and the only way to get hydrazine is to stake it with stars. So why this is good is because this is going to stop people from just wanting to sell their stars as soon as an IDO comes out, because they are not even using stars for that. So it allows for really good appreciation because it is locked up for staking. They've also got the Card Starter team. The Card Starter team have been super impressive. They've performed brilliantly for their Cardano-based projects. And I can only imagine they are going to bring the exact same expertise to launch Solana-based projects that will tend to 100x. Just like Gero Wallet, Charlie 3 and other cryptocurrencies launched on Card Starter. It is a deflationary cryptocurrency. That's what DF stands for. So what happens is that if you stake stars to create hydrazine, then you want to unstake to be able to sell, you will be subject to a 90-day lockup. However, you can unstake early, and if you do unstake early, then you will be sacrificing your stars, therefore burning the stars, therefore deflating the overall supply. So that deflation of the supply allows for demand to overtake supply and therefore to appreciate dramatically. Now, one of the advisors of StarLaunch is actually working for Solana in their ecosystem growth team. So they lead ecosystem growth in Solana, and they are an advisor for StarLaunch, so you can see where this is going. Essentially, if she is growing the ecosystem, then what they may do is essentially move these projects to StarLaunch for StarLaunch to then launch them, therefore allowing for StarLaunch to be the official partner, really, of Solana in terms of early stage projects. So what's going to lead to the 100x's? Well, hyper speculation. There is a scarcity of Solana-based launchpads, therefore allowing for good money flow to just be concentrated on StarLaunch. You are going to be able to invest in Solana-based coins and multi-narratives. So this is potentially multiple trends you can exploit. So Solana in itself is a trend. And then you've got DeFi, NFT, GameFi, DEXs, and all of this is covered under multi-narratives. So this could exploit 5 or 6 narratives. The 90-day lockup as well is going to stop from people just bulk selling, and of course end of bull run timing. So what is the size of the opportunity? This is exclusive information. So it's going to be a 800k market cap. This is based on being 6.7 cents and 11.4 million tokens. So Solanium is the only other launchpad that is currently really popular right now. If this was to equal Solanium, and I think this has got better tokenomics and better token demand, this would only need to 167x. If it was to reach Solanium, which I don't think many people have actually heard of, it would be 167x. I think StarLaunch is going to overtake Solanium as the Solana-based launchpad of choice. How can you buy StarLaunch? Well, you will have to buy it on StarLaunch themselves. So they are going to be launching their own IDO, much like BSC Pad and CardStarter launched their own IDOs. Now, of course, the CardStarter team are behind this, and there is possibly going to be some small allocation if you are in one of the tiers of CardStarter, but the main way is via StarLaunch. So you would have to either whitelist or register for the opportunity on the 21st of October. But what I would recommend you do, because there could be some whitelisting sales in the interim, is just make sure that you are in their Telegram announcements channel and in their Twitter channel so that you know that you can jump onto a pre-sale just beforehand. But make sure it's from the official StarLaunch team. There are lots of scam pre-sale Telegram groups. Do not fall for it. Only go for something. Only go into something if it is from the official channel. What is number 3? Number 3 is SundaySwap. SundaySwap is looking to be essentially the endorsed DEX for the Cardano ecosystem. They have met with Charles Hoskinson. This is the most bullish project not yet launched on Cardano. This is coming late October. And how do you get involved in it? Essentially, SundaySwap is going to be a Cardano-based decentralized exchange. It is probably the most likely to be the official DEX. So, like for instance, Ethereum's is Uniswap, Binance Smart Chain is PancakeSwap, Solana's is Radium or Serum. So SundaySwap is looking to be the one for Cardano, and Cardano is probably the most bullish project that has ever come out of cryptocurrency. So therefore, SundaySwap by association could be one of the largest DEXs ever. SundaySwap is essentially a huge Cardano DeFi play. It's going to involve a DEX, which is where you're going to be able to trade at this present time, ADA-based assets, could be multi-chain assets in future, but essentially any new projects that come out of Cardano will probably go on PancakeSwap, just like the ones happening on Binance Smart Chain are coming onto PancakeSwap. There's also going to be borrowing and lending features, which I imagine is going to lead to huge APYs for lenders, and there's going to be liquidity pools and yield farming. So you will provide liquidity to a particular farm and you are going to generate huge APYs, and there's also going to be pool staking as well. So again, hyper speculation is what's going to lead this to over 100x. Hyper speculation. The earlier you get in, the lower the price, the better the gains. So this is going to be exploiting Cardano and DeFi narratives. Cardano is probably one of the biggest narratives I have exploited in the last 4 years anyway. And DeFi is going to be probably a super narrative coming into the bull run. And of course, end of of bull run timing. So we're going to have the last 80% of the price action happening in this whole bull run in the last 20% of the market. And so that is probably what's going to lead SundaySwap, could 1000x, depends on how early you get in. So what is the price going to be of SundaySwap? That is an estimation at this point. No details have been released. No details on the launch date has been released. However, based on a potential 150 to 200 million total supply, they are going to be releasing 20% of that for initial supply. I imagine it's going to be a $1 cryptocurrency opening out. Could be less, could be a bit more, but I estimate it'll be around about 30 million market cap. This would make it 440x cheaper than Uniswap, 145x cheaper than Cake, therefore allowing for 440x and 145x potential. This is likely to completely usurp PancakeSwap, and probably over time usurp Uniswap if this stays or is endorsed by Cardano. So therefore this could be in future a potential 1000x over time. So how do you get involved in SundaySwap? Well, you can buy it via ISO. So SundaySwap is going to be the first DEX to launch ISOs, which is an initial stake offering. So you stake either via the Yoroi wallet or the Daedalus wallet. You stake onto the platform and you will be able to earn SundaySwap tokens from its early stages. The most effective method is likely to be liquidity provision. So you will have to provide a pairing to a liquidity pool, whether that be Cardano and something else, to a liquidity pool. And I think this will probably yield more aggressive returns of SundaySwap tokens. Just like with what happened with PolkaSwap, in order to be able to get PolkaSwap, you needed to be providing in a liquidity pool both Ethereum and Zora tokens, and this was generating PolkaSwap tokens, free for those who was getting involved in the early stages. So it's going to be a very, very similar concept, and buying it on the DEX. So when it actually launches, being a DEX itself, you are going to be able to buy this as one of the first Cardano assets. But I think that the DEX is going to yield the worst results because it'll be on the DEX once it's already been generated cheaply by those providing liquidity and also ISO. So I would say liquidity provision will be the best, most risky, but the best. There'll be impermanent loss, but you will make that impermanent loss up in the SundaySwap you generate, then ISO, then the DEX. Then what is at number 2? In at number 2, we have got Akala. Akala is coming out in November, and this is going to be a Polkadot crowd loan. Now, Akala is undoubtedly one of the biggest ecosystems that is going to be coming out this year and in this bull run. But what is it? Why is this going to make life-changing money? Akala is a DeFi infrastructure. So you've got your smart contract infrastructures like Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, Binance Smart Chain, etc., etc. Akala is going to be a complete DeFi infrastructure, smart contracts for DeFi applications. So it is going to be Ethereum and DOT compatible. So any financial apps created for Polkadot or Ethereum are going to be connected to them with Akala. Akala is going to be the smart contracts end for Ethereum and DOT, and for scalability for Ethereum. So what is investable about this? It is going to be enabling borrowing and lending on the Polkadot ecosystem. Now, this is one of the lowest fee ecosystems that's going to be around. So what Polkadot is looking to be essentially in the future is a 1.25 million transactions per second network, therefore allowing for fees to be absolutely ultra low, if not completely nearly free. So you are going to be able to do borrowing and lending with Akala and Akala-based projects, DEXs, yield farming, staking with the Akala USD as a stable coin to generate yield. If you are getting involved in any Ethereum-based DeFi products, whether it be a DEX or a borrowing lending platform, the fees are astronomical. It makes it completely inaccessible for retail investors. It makes it completely inaccessible for the mass market. Whereas, essentially, Polkadot and Akala is going to make DeFi accessible for the entire world. That is what makes this ultra bullish. So what are the narratives it exploits? Again, hyper speculation. Akala is one of the big names that's been floating about for the last year and a half. It's going to be exploiting Polkadot, the crowd loan, the parachain, and the DeFi narratives and end of the bull run timing. So a whole series, a bulk amount of narratives it is going to exploit by the end of the year, as well as the bull run itself. So it's going to be relevant and it's going to shoot up. So, how much is Akala going to be? So, this is going to be around about 3.4 million cryptocurrency on launch. So they are going to only initially be launching about 5 million at around about a token rate of 68 cents. This is based on the price that Akala came up with at the crowd loan earlier on this year. So it should be around about 68 cents. Now, Aave is probably one of the biggest DeFi infrastructures in cryptocurrency, and this is going to be basically completely superior to Aave. So for it to match Aave, therefore, be a 1,183x. So the earlier you get in, my god, basically the best money can be made, if not one of the best gainers in this entire market. How do you get involved in Akala? Well, how you do it is you have to essentially get involved in the Polkadot crowd loans, okay? So basically, like what happened with Kusama, you have to buy Polkadot, stake it in a Polkadot wallet, and then when the auctions come out, you essentially contribute DOT to that auction. Now, if that project wins the auction, then you are going to be sent a certain amount of tokens based on the amount of DOT that you were able to contribute. There are no real limits when it comes to the parachain auctions. So that means that if you were to buy, let's say, $10,000 worth of DOT, and you were to buy that whole $10,000 worth to Akala, then you should, by rights, get $10,000 allocation in Akala. So, what I will say, though, is you are going to be locking up your DOT for a period of time, potentially 1 to 2 years, by doing this, okay? So you are not going to be able to use that DOT to be able to exploit the bull run narrative, but you are going to be able to exploit the newer project and the one that's got the more gains, so therefore it makes better sense to actually do this, okay? So this is likely to be coming out in November, December, and Akala, I think, is just going to be one of the biggest projects this year. Then at number 1, what is the biggest project? What is the one that's probably just outright going to make you that 1k to 1 million multiple? Well, it is Moonbeam. Moonbeam is going to be coming out November, December. Again, these parachain launches have not been announced yet. We have to wait for Polkadot to make the official announcement, but it's likely to be November, December. So, what is Moonbeam? Why is this number 1? And why should you be really excited about it? Well, if you have seen how Moonriver has performed, Moonriver is essentially the sister chain to Moonbeam. It's essentially the testnet to Moonbeam. Moonbeam is deploying a lot of its testing and functionality on Moonriver, and Moonriver has done extremely well, and it's not even really been able to achieve its potential yet. So that shows you where Moonbeam could go in the interim. So what is Moonbeam? Moonbeam is essentially a layer 1.5 solution. So it's not a layer 2 solution for Ethereum, it's a 1.5. So layer 2 solutions are in essence siloed scaling solutions. So they take the transaction off of Ethereum, settle it, move it back to Ethereum. Whereas what Moonbeam does is essentially it is a Ethereum protocol compatible. That means that it does not have to move anything off of Ethereum. It essentially just scales Ethereum natively. So it's a multi-chain dApps stroke smart contracts ecosystem. It is essentially the smart contracts chain of Polkadot. Okay, so any smart contract businesses coming to Polkadot can do so with Moonbeam. So Moonbeam is essentially going to enable for dApps in any narrative to be able to run on Ethereum and run on Polkadot. So it essentially enables multi-chain dApps, multi-chain profitability for dApp developers, and multi-chain accessibility for retail investors and the mass market, because you will not have to pay these large gas fees anymore. Now, Moonbeam's token is going to be called Glimmer, whereas Moonriver's is River. So essentially, Glimmer is going to be the gas fee for Moonbeam. Therefore, you are going to need it if you are going to want to pay the ultra low gas fees, if you're going to want to take advantage of the advantages of using the Moonbeam network, you are going to need Glimmer token. Therefore, there is inbuilt demand. So, why is Moonbeam investable? Well, because it is the Polkadot dApp layer. Okay, so in order for Polkadot dApps, the relay chain is needed, and Moonbeam is Polkadot's relay chain. This is going to enable for 1.5 million transactions per second. This is also going to have cross-chain integration. So if you are wanting a multi-chain dApp as a developer, then you are going to want to use Moonbeam for the best performance of your particular dApp. So Moonbeam is likely to be one of the biggest infrastructures. It's likely to be up there with the Solanas, the Avalanches, the Phantoms, the hash graphs. Okay, this is destined for top 25 cryptocurrency. So how is this going to generate 100 to 1000x? Well, essentially because of incredibly high speculation, hyper speculation. Look at how Moon River has performed. Like Moonbeam, I imagine is going to have 10x more speculation than Moon River. It's likely to be listed on all the top exchanges, and it's going to have end of the bull run timing. Now, as far as I'm concerned, infrastructures are the biggest narrative. Infrastructure basically covers every narrative. If you get involved in an infrastructure, essentially you are getting involved in DeFi, NFTs, GameFi, gaming, all of it. All right. Therefore, Moonbeam being an infrastructure means it's the ultimate narrative. And as it's going to be probably listed on all of the top exchanges, is going to have high liquidity and high appreciative value. So what is going to be the price of Moonbeam? Well, it's going to be around about 25 million market cap. This is based on 25-cent token price and 100 million initial supply. Now, I haven't put a multiplier to base this on because essentially this could go into the thousands of multipliers. Like if this is to rival the biggest and best infrastructures that are out right now, this could go into the top 50. Therefore, it could be anything from 100 to 1000x. If this was to go to 25 billion market cap, that would be 1000x. Now, that could be a little bit ambitious for this run. 2.5 billion would make it a 100x, which I think is probably an easy target for it to achieve, depending on how close it comes out to the end of the bull run. But again, how you get involved in it is based on the Polkadot crowd loan. So you again have to send DOT to the Moonbeam crowd loan or the Moonbeam auction when it happens November, December time. Again, you'll be locking up your DOT, but essentially, if let's say you buy $10,000 worth of Polkadot and contribute that whole $10,000 worth to Moonbeam, you're essentially going to be buying those tokens for 25 cents. If you put $10,000 in at 100x's, that $10,000 will basically become $1 million. Simple as that. So anyway, that is why at this present time, getting Polkadot is very, very advantageous, because once the actual Polkadot crowd loans happen, which will be next month, end of this month or next month, then you are probably going to be see Polkadot going around about 5x, okay, at maximum. It could probably go to around about $130, who knows. But this is literally the lowest point to be able to get Polkadot. So that is how you get involved in Moonbeam, possibly one of the biggest infrastructures that's going to come out of cryptocurrency, possibly going to be up there with Cardano and Hashgraph in terms of scalability, speed, low cost, and accessibility for retail investors and anybody getting involved in the ecosystem for DeFi purposes. So that is the top 5. What is your favorite of all 5? People ask me a lot, I've got $1,000, Suppo, I've got $10,000, I've got $5,000, where shall I put it? And basically, my answer is don't rush it. Don't just invest in something because you've got the money and it's burning a hole in your pocket. Don't just spend it because you want to. Spend it where you think the multipliers are going to come. I'm one of the tightest people in the whole of the world, and I literally spend my money on nothing unless it is likely to yield humongous multipliers. Therefore, these 5 are ones I'm definitely getting in, and therefore I'm going to be spending my money on, so I will save my money for these. I'm not just going to ape into something like Avalanche or something that's already gone up and made the money. I want to invest in something where I'm at the beginning of it making money, and everybody that gets in later is making money for me, is making me money. Right, so these cryptocurrencies are designed to make me money. They're designed to work for me. The more people that get in after, the more I get rich. And that is the exact same strategy you need to have. Getting involved in something like Solana, Avalanche, and some of the big, large caps, essentially. The money has already been made. You're making the early investors richer. You need to turn that dynamic on its head. You need to be the early investor that everybody getting in later makes rich. And I think these top 5 are going to help you do that. Couple of points to end on. So Convergence Finance is going to be launching their new roadmap maybe this week. This has already led to the price going up slightly. So it has gone up, finally breaching the 3-cent mark, and this could go higher once the roadmap is actually released, because that could launch details as to what is going to be happening with that ecosystem. You know, what are they announcing in this roadmap? Are they going to be announcing something about Moonbeam, Moon River, and Avalanche? These are 3 ecosystems they have already said they're involved with. So who knows what's going to be announced. So Convergence, definitely something to make sure that you keep an eye on or potentially invest in based on the speculative value of the roadmap. And then last of all is BSC Pad. Now I can tell you this is absolutely secretive. Do not tell a single person outside of this video, okay? There's something big coming, all right, on all of the launch pads. You know, BSC Pad, ETH Pad, KCC Pad. I was sworn to secrecy. Well, I can say it's going to be huge, huge project. Therefore, if any of these go low, particularly in recent times, then I would probably try and gain as much market share as you can in this potential new project. I can't say any more than that. But what they have done at BSC Pad is they have actually changed the tier system. So what they used to have bronze, silver, and gold were guaranteed tiers. However, you had to whitelist, but you were still guaranteed. Now they have turned bronze, silver, and gold into lotteries. And I think the key reason is because what was happening is they were getting some really good projects. They are, of course, probably the beacon brand of Bluezilla projects. You know, this was the initial, this is the one that's probably been the most successful, and yet you are getting the least allocations here. So therefore, what I think they've done is they've basically turned it around to give bigger benefit to those who have made the largest stakes and be able to get probably the better allocations. Okay, so therefore, I think that BSC Pad has made that change. You know, you were getting very, very little in bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze, silver were not getting any of the real top cryptocurrencies anyway. They were gold plus. So bronze and silver, now you get a lottery ticket. You know, these lottery tickets are essentially the amount of times you have a chance to be able to get an allocation. So the more you have, the more chance you have of getting an allocation. It will annoy a lot of people, but I think at the same time it would be probably better all round for the growth of BSC Pad. And then last of all, probably the cryptocurrency I think has the greatest appreciative value between now and the end of the bull run that is already kind of in the mid-cap range is Shiba Inu. You know, this has gone up wildly actually already. I think this is a sign of what's to come. I personally think this is going to at least 30x between now and the end of the bull run. You know, simply because of the fact that meme coins are super popular to noobs, and they are particularly super popular to somebody with absolutely no understanding and no care to understand the whole cryptocurrency terminology of smart contracts, ecosystems, infrastructures, DeFi, NFTs. Don't want to know what that is, and you just want to get involved in something you do understand, which is basically a dog coin. Then Shiba Inu is it, and I think that is what's going to lead to this being a huge multiplier in the cryptocurrency season. And furthermore, only a few days ago did somebody actually buy $43 million worth of Shiba. Now, could that have been Elon Musk? Who knows? But what I do know is that why bother? If I was Elon Musk, one of the least risky, other than Doge, is Shiba Inu. So why not buy a huge bag? So yeah, so I personally am loving Shiba Inu. It is probably the only meme coin I've ever really, truly loved. So this one I also imagine will do well in the bull run. So there we are, people. That concludes another episode of the Suppoman Show. Let me know in the comments, which cryptocurrency are you most bullish on out of this selection? And are you going to even try to get into these cryptocurrencies? Because I personally think that should you get even into one of them with a decent allocation, you are going to make way more than all those people aping on Solana and Avalanche and all these large cap coins already, or Ethereum and Cardano and Bitcoin. Don't bother wasting your time with that junk, right? If you know something is almost guaranteed to moon and you can take part in a very early stage, you know, do so. So anyway, let me know in the comments which is your favorite. Let me know if you are new to this channel and have subscribed. And also, let me know if there's a project I have not covered that you are extremely bullish on, that has very good fundamental strength, and you think is going to make large multipliers this bull market. Till next time, people, it is lights out, all out.